Central Pennsylvania to the heart of the South African fight. You've been a voice to the noise and the madness, shining truth in the darkest of nights. You saw through the smoke and confusion, you called out the games and the lies, while others just watched in silence. You stood tall and opened our eyes. So here's to you, Colonel Wyatt, with your boots on the ground of what's right. You give us more than just headlines, you give us silence to lie. To the Africans' hearts and the voices unheard, your truth is a powerful song. The refugee stories you carry remind the world where we belong. You didn't come looking for glory, just a man who believes in the facts. And when cows came swinging with fiction, you sent the burger off Bundy to smack him right back. You don't dance with those looking for fire, you just speak for the ones pushed aside. And the mothers and sons and the fathers, they know you're on truth's side. So you see you, Colonel Wyatt, with your boots on the ground of what's right. You gave us more than just headlines, you gave us silence to light. To the Africans' hearts and the voices unheard, your truth is a powerful song. The refugee stories you carry remind the world where we belong. Some folks just wanna argue, but they don't have a cause or a plan. You gave them a wink and a bunny said, butter up, I'll stick to the facts, man. So here to you, Colonel Wyatt, may your message keep soaring high. For the land and the people of province who refuse to give in or deny. And let our kind hearts and the voices on the herd raise a cheer when they hear your name.
You're a soldier, a brother, a fighter, and we're grateful you joined in our fight. Yeah, true cut, eternal Wyatt, and we'll ride like a psyche too.
Yeah. Your body really don't know. And this is a race when I failed me. I got going.
Stealth in the night with the shadows sway. No words spoken, just the planes on display. Knocking out the power where danger lay. Hope's lit flame keeps the dark at bay. Boom in the silence, moves like a ghost. Choices we make ripple coast to coast. Bridges built from ashes, no time to boast. Peace finds a way when it matters the most. They saw the storm but never the rain. The skies were quiet yet broke the chain. Tensions crumbled like a fortress in vain. The cost was steep but there's peace to gain. Boom in the silence, moves like a ghost. Choices we make ripple coast to coast. Bridges built from ashes, no time to boast. Peace finds a way when it matters the most. A hand unseen rewrote the game. From chaos to calm, a shift untamed. Lines redrawn where fire once claimed. Now a new world emerges, unframed. Boom in the silence, moves like a ghost. Choices we make ripple coast to coast. Bridges built from ashes, no time to boast. Peace finds a way when it matters the most. When it matters the most.
Good evening, America. Unless you're watching from California, then maybe not so good. Just kidding. Sort of, it's your favorite president, some say the best ever. And tonight, I've got a few things to say. So grab your popcorn, turn off the fake news, and let's talk about what's really going on. It's going to be good, really good.
I mean, it's just insane. Oh, it's been 3 weeks. Okay, get a grip. I mean, honestly, people have no idea what's involved here. A thorough background investigation must be completed to prove who you are, where you're from, what you're saying is true. That has to take place. There's an administrative process that has to take place. Interviews have to be conducted. Medical screening has to be done. All this stuff takes time. Hey folks, welcome back to the program. Good evening. It's 11:06 Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast of the United States. Sorry, it looks like I'm stripping there. That's not the intent. No stripper chats here. Welcome back to the program, folks. How y'all doing? How's it going? How you doing? Have you met my friend, the Bugger Off Bunny? Need some urgent coffee, says Jan. It must be early morning there. I like the new tunes. Yeah, that one is pretty cool. Boom in the darkness. Good stuff. Yeah, I love it. Welcome back to the program, folks. Yeah, we're ginning up. We're spinning the tunes. We're generating all kinds of new AI songs all the time. I didn't do the Chris Wyatt song. One of my viewers did that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, we need to put an album out. There are actually some really good, I mean, the Save South Africa song is really good. The original song that was done by one of my viewers, but the Colonel Wyatt's, what's that one called? Colonel Wyatt's, what's that thing called? Anthem. That was pretty good. Yeah, some of these are really good. I like the one we got where Ramaphosa, what's the cost? That's a pretty good one too. You like that studio? It's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, that was one of my viewers made that, and I put the music to it, and I picked the clips. It's pretty cool. So we'll play it again here real quick in case you just missed it, folks. I like this. It's pretty cool, huh? What do you guys think? Studio as you approach, coming in there. Got the night owls on the right with the piece of a crescent moon and the owl. And then my name, the global view with Africa in the center. The couch, yeah, the Bugger Off Bunny. If you didn't notice, the Bugger Off Bunny's on the table too. And then there is the plaque, an exact replica of the 100,000 subscriber plaque. That's really, really cool. We trialed a news one earlier today. Here's the news intro in case you missed that. This one goes for about 30 seconds. So it's the same music I always have, but I've changed it up a little bit here. Let me just get this turned up here because I want to hear this myself. This is the one I use for the news report now.
Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
I like how he incorporated the Bugger Off Bunny on the table in all those videos. That's pretty cool. Welcome to everybody. How you all doing out there? Guys, I got to tell you, look, I don't mean to reveal because I don't reveal who it is, but I mean, it's honestly, you know, being upbeat, being who I am, being upbeat, it's tough. It takes all my skill and experience as a leader to stay upbeat. Why? Not because of attacks on me, but because of the horrific stories people tell me. More stories of women relating how they've been gang raped because they were white on the rural residences. More of those emails today from people who are desperate to get out of South Africa. It's insane. It's absolutely insane, folks. It's sick and twisted. And I it takes a lot to survive such things and be able to tell someone about it. You know, it's crazy. Yeah, it's really cool, Rudolph, especially with the plaque in there. So let me say hello to everybody in the chat here very quickly. Chantel Hendo's here, EB, here in South Australia, appropriation of empty land without compensation. That's insane. See, I told you Australia's gone, New Zealand's gone. These are woke leftist countries. They've betrayed their citizens. And it's so sad in the case of Australia, a country that was founded and stood well above its punching above its weight in the world, in World War I, World War II, and it's just gone. Steampunk Angel said earlier, yeah, well, Jaeger got banned. Jaeger's banned. Yep, so gone. He'll come back with a different username, and he'll be gone again. Ulrich Fenton, he was warned repeatedly, politely. People just being little trolls. Samantha von Eck, Tinskotze. Is there some way I can share the WhatsApp link? Okay, the problem with that, Rudolph, is what WhatsApp link are you talking about? I have about 9 different groups that people affiliate with me, and 6 of those belong to me, and I don't know which one you're talking about. If you're talking about the refugee groups, well, one is full, and the one that was the original one actually isn't full. There's space for like 3 or 4 people in that. But you can share it if you have it, but sharing it won't do any good. The other one has 61 people waiting. Sorry, there's something down here in my throat and I can't get rid of it. Jack up, how's it going? Dougie Ray's here. Chantel, Mandy van Rooyen, Momo, Tom Poltney, Melissa Levy, Dylan Comrick, there's an OG. Alan Kutz has been around a long time too. El Marie Mayer, AJ Quinn, What's it de Klerk, Xander van Rensburg, Caitlin Haneke, Thrawn. Welcome to you. Goedemorgen to you. And Inkwell Odyssey's here. Urban Homestead, Jana Kruger, Emerancia Quinn, Peter Smith, Johan Barnard, Ida Creel, Samantha von Eck, Chris Stander, Peter Wick, CB787 Dreamliners here. Cyberrags. Well, Cyberrags been around a long time too. Heidi Kruger, Shawnee Groves. Hey, Shawnee. When is your album coming out, says Amanda. Hey, I don't know. Bernard Kroff, Raina Fletch, Shawnee Groves, Bloodkop, Rudolph Skeppers. What the heck is this? The heck is that? Oh, my chat was still open. I thought I'd shut that down. My phone just popped up with an advert. Love the new intro. It's pretty cool, huh? You like the shirt? It's a Jim Green shirt, which I got from the factory. Sue Marie says, hello, happy on the live again. Overslept yesterday, missed the live. Ah, shame. Love how they look. Yeah, they did include my favorite color. Yep. Ayatollah Khomeini's not been seen. Yeah, I haven't seen Ayatollah Khomeini in a while, have we? Maybe he's been overthrown already. On the couch with the Colonel. Female viewership up 10,000%. Is it? Oh my goodness. Sorry. I've got see my forehead. This medicine isn't working as well as it's supposed to. Feeling CNN reporting on the USA strikes in Iran is really showing their real colors. Leftist agenda just persisting. Yeah, they're doubling down with their fake news, and a discredited initial DIA report with low confidence was reported by them as if it was fact. And all of them reported as if it's fact. That really pisses me off because analysts, there are a bunch of analysts at the DIA, at the CIA, and these analysts work and they come to different conclusions. And somebody took a report and gave it to a congressman who exposed it, and that congressman should be stripped of their clearance and should be censored and then voted out of the House of Representatives by the rest of the House of Representatives. Thanks for bringing the crap, NSA, to the world. People don't know what's going on over there. Yeah, no, Afro-Oki Adventures. I've been doing that for 5 years in the public domain. I've been doing it for over 20 years in the classified world. Miguel Multipass. New intro looks great. Thank you. Chris Kruger, welcome to you. Yep. Had 4 attempted home invasions last week before immigrating to the Netherlands in 2022, says Heidi. It's insane. It's insane. And now whatever you left behind is probably just shit. It's probably all fallen apart and destroyed. Yeah, no concept of civilization we're dealing with here. What about the money? What about the money? What do you mean, Werner? It's the first thing you said, and you said not the money. Hey, LDO Fundebag. Yeah, so one of my viewers sent me a link to one of the Flying Monkeys who tried to insult me and berate me and called me stupid because I don't know the difference between 49 and 59. Well, you're a dumb person who said that. You continue to believe the fake press. See, these people will believe anything that Cockprot24 tells them. Cockprot24 could tell them that the sky is on fire, and they go, oh my gosh, we need to hide, because they're stupid people. I've confirmed that it was 59 from the very beginning. You know, and to hear this nonsense coming from someone that's never talked to a single refugee, a person that's never done a single refugee interview, has no contact with any of the refugees, is not in contact with the U.S. government, never worked for the U.S. government, just talking out their cake hole and attacking me. Calm down, Chantel. What are you talking about? Who's excited? My goodness, you don't know what excited is. Treason should be punishable by death. Well, what they'll do is they'll get charged under the Espionage Act, which doesn't come with a death penalty. It's a bunny in my pocket, that's right. gaming stream. They didn't know what enriched uranium means. They think U.S. bombed Iran because Iran refused to give U.S. rare metal. It's a stupid freaking people. Iran has no rare mineral we want. Iran has a rare mineral. Yeah, it's called concrete for a head. Yeah, their heads are made out of freaking, gypsum. Well, gypsum's too soft. Wouldn't be gypsum. Granite. That's what I'm looking for. Made out of granite. It's a G word. Yep. Chantel, what are you talking about? Calm down. Boy. No, it wasn't a guy. It was a lady. Well, she's female. I don't know if she's a lady. Stuck on stupid at 49. It's unbelievable. The stupid stuff that people believe, the stupid stuff that people repeat, it's just beyond the pale. And they just keep coming. The frauds just keep coming. By the way, I was contacted by another person who claims to have been defrauded by that guy, Johan. Another person who gave up all the money they had. I don't understand. I have empathy for these people, but I do not understand. And so let me just tell a little story here about why the shadow banning has a negative impact. Because of the shadow banning, this channel didn't grow to what it might have been. 250,000, 500,000 subscribers who turn here for all reliable analytical information on South Africa. In 5 years, we should have been able to pull that off, right? Because in freaking 3 months, we went from 20 to 100,000. But imagine if we had not been shadow banned for 5 years and the channel had been allowed to grow organically and they promote the videos and then my videos were seen by all the people that would want to see them. Many people would have trusted me and found out that my analysis is pretty good and usually accurate and prescient before events happen in many cases. So when the Refugee program was announced, it wouldn't have been just my audience of 20,000 who knew about me. It would have been hundreds of thousands of people who knew other people. And instead of listening to bullshit artists and scamsters in their own community who defraud, steal, and cheat their own Afrikaner community, a lot of people would have come here and said, hey, what's going on with the Refugee program? And I would have been able to tell them. And they would have avoided being scammed. And now many people have been scammed because of YouTube. Because they hid my channel and shadow banned me for so long. $800 million verdict. What's it? Did View get sued? What happened? Did they? Oh, I hope that's the case. What's this $800 million thing? What are you talking about, man? Did something happen I don't know about on the Dystopian View? Salute, Colonel. Morning, everyone. Hello to you. Topi, bunny in a pocket, no Zulu on your stoop. No, there's no Zulu on my stoop. Since COVID times, I'm not shocked anymore at what nonsense people believe and how uneducated they are in general. Yeah, Simmery. I don't, and what happens is they make people panic. Oh, you have no time. It's the last day. We can only go now. We got to get to this now. If you don't get out, you're not going to go. Now you have people that are afraid that they're going to be denied a refugee status. Several people have contacted me who've been defrauded, they claim, by this guy, Johan. Several people over the past month or so, and said they were defrauded, and then they reach out to me after the fact, and they're worried that they're not going to be able to get in the refugee program. Well, you didn't commit a crime. You didn't commit a crime unless you knowingly participated in a scheme. To my knowledge, none of you knew what was going on. You simply were defrauded. And some have asked for help from the U.S. Well, I can't help. The U.S. can't help you. That was a crime in South Africa. There was nothing for us to prosecute. But there is apparently a tip line at the embassy. I asked the latest person to send me more information on that so I can identify the tip line for people who've been defrauded. Yeah. So, yeah, these people take advantage of people. And then you got other people running around telling lies about asylum and calling me a liar and trying to undermine my credibility. You just bulletproof, lady. Bulletproof. You can sit there and talk your cock and bullshit, but it isn't going to change anything. The facts are the facts. And what I said is solid. There's no mistake there. Refugees under the law, Immigration Nationality Act, are not allowed to work. However, they've created policy subsequently that does allow refugee to work. But as I said, the big advantage for being asylum. Sorry, I'm tired. Asylum. That lady said, and I said, asylum workers cannot work when they get here. When you claim asylum, you cannot work. That's a fact. I said it all along. And refugees, one advantage, you can work immediately. The best case scenario, an asylum seeker may be able to work after 6 months. Best case. But that's 6 months of expenses, plus you got to pay for lawyers. Where's the money coming from? Why would you want asylum when 90+% of the people are usually rejected under asylum? I was called a liar on that too. And then I showed the stats on the screen. I put it up. 74 cases of asylum under the Biden administration for South Africans, 8 were approved. You do the math. 11, 14%, somewhere in that range. Yep. Let them believe what they want. It's not your problem. Well, I'd have to be in the plus to be able to be defrauded. You got to have money, you mean. Been looking at all your content from past and only run into it by accident. Still getting old posts from time to time that didn't see yet. Definitely something wrong. So I spoke to a black lady on Tuesday. She said that the 40 refugees will be back in 3 years because there was no free medical or SASA in America. She was going about free stuff. Well, she's an idiot. First off, there weren't 40 refugees. It was 59, and now it's far more than that. And they won't be back in 3 years, not unless South Africa gets rid of its racist laws. No, they won't be back. There is free medical, and we do have things like SASA. Yeah, we do. It's called food stamps. It's called public assistance. Absolutely. Stupid people should wear signs. I love how there's so many people are authorities, and they know nothing. They know absolutely nothing. And the sad part about this is that it doesn't take a lot to be a critical thinker. It doesn't take a lot to do research. You can reach the wrong conclusions, and a lot of people do that, but at least they try. But most of these people don't even try. They just make stuff up. They just make it up. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Verbal diarrhea. You shouldn't talk to anybody about the refugee program. Keep it to yourself. Sad when people fall for scams. You have to repeatedly give them facts about the program. These scammers feed off their desperation and fear. They will get those that express interest. Right. Exactly right. Well, what's crazy is that a lot of people never even see my content. It just isn't there. And tonight, look at this. We only have 161 people here, but usually it picks up as the hour goes on. We'll see if that happens tonight. So let me go to my studio. And I'm going to look up and see how many people went over to the Sorbo thing, because I asked people to watch the Kevin Sorbo. Okay, we only had, was it 887 when I asked them to look, and now we're at 1,100. So it jumped from 484. Excuse me. That was March, and in March I got it to 823, and then I just promoted again from 844 to 1,100. So we got a little jump there. So I got an extra 133 and then 69 more the next time. I lost a subscriber because he said Kevin Sorbo streamed. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Why would somebody stop being a subscriber? Because that. I also did a video, if any of you saw it, on Corné Mulder and the questions from Melvin Foote. That guy, man, wow. That guy is something else. So I've never commented on him before. I know who he is. I've never commented on him. Sim Andre, the writer, managed to get asylum in the U.S. after the ESCOM fiasco. Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. Minister of Defense said yesterday that Saudi is quite capable of defending itself. Minister 5%. She's no longer Minister 30%. Now she's Minister 5%. Her brain capacity keeps sinking. It just keeps sinking. Angie Mocheka, man. Wow. Inkwell, I will disagree. The South African government are not short-term planners. The South African government are not planners at all. Oh, I'm sorry. Planning to get the quickest way to get the money. Okay, I'll buy that. She's a joke. She's been a joke. And the fact that they're not embarrassed by the incompetence and ineptitude of their own ministers is hilarious. They're embarrassed because the DA ministers, well, some, like Leon Schreiber, are running circles around. Even John Steenhuisen is running. He's not running very fast, but he's running some circles around what we had in the past for agricultural ministers, although there are some shortcomings there. Yeah, Mr. Foote put his foot in his mouth. He sounded like an ANC caterer. That's true. That's why I said he's not running that fast. No notification again. Well, Gene, then that's a ripoff because YouTube is screwing me because I published this, 2 hours before we went live. So I published this, at 9 o'clock this evening, I published this video and said it was live. So you had 2 hours for them to send you a notification. Everyone should have gotten a notification if you have it turned on and you put down all notifications. If not, then YouTube is just screwing me over. Yep. Angie is a joke. She is, man. She is. So what else we got here? Whoops. So check this out. This is from Melvin Foote, okay? Let me put this up, and I'm going to read it to you, okay? So this guy, let me just show you the video real quick, okay? So, hang on. Trapped in an apartheid world, okay? If you're on YouTube. Okay, so I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I'm going to show you a little bit of it, okay? Going to show you a little bit of this. Okay, so this is the video I published earlier. It doesn't have many views, but it was late in the day, so that's understandable. But this is the video. Some folks just can't escape apartheid. Hello, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. Corne Mulder, the leader of the Freedom Front Plus, Mr. Poppenfuss from a labor group, and Teo Diago from SAAI are visiting the United States, and they're meeting with a number of elected officials, think tanks, and giving public lectures, answering questions, and participating in panels. This week, they met with the Hudson Institute, a conservative organization in Washington, D.C. At the Hudson Institute, Melvin Foote, a noted leftist, asked them questions in a very condescending and very bigoted fashion. Let's watch this question, or this series of questions.
My name is Melvin Foote. I'm the head of the Constituency for Africa. I lobby on U.S.-Africa policy. We talk about AGOA, for instance. I'm one of the ones who was the architect of the original AGOA.
It's fascinating to see. He's not the original architect. He may have contributed, but no. Phil Carter would take exception to that, as would all the people I mentioned, including former ambassadors who were involved in that legislation. He was in the private sector with his little think tank there. I like he puts quotes around think tanks, but his Constituency for Africa is a think tank too. We're going to put quotes around that. This guy is clueless. Talk about uninformed, exactly. And he says it with everything he says. And the guy has got a clear racial bias, animosity, and hatred in his heart. He said, this morning I attended a meeting in the conservative Hudson Institute entitled An Afrikaner View on U.S.-South Africa Relations, featuring 3 high-level white Afrikaners, also called Boers, now commonly known as Afrikaners, are early settlers of South African, of Dutch, German, and Huguenot descent, who arrived in the Transvaal in the Free State region in the 1600s and 1700s. Well, I hate to break it to Mr. Foote, but he doesn't know anything about history. There were no Boers or Afrikaners. The Afrikaner didn't exist, but there were no Boers in the Transvaal in the 1600s because the Transvaal didn't exist. Nor were there any in the Orange Free State. It did not exist, and they were not there. Nor in the 1700s. The arrival of the Boer, the Trek Boer, began in the 1830s in earnest, 1838, 1836, 1835. That's when it began in earnest after sending reconnaissance teams like Pete Ice, Pete Retief, all these folks up to find routes into the Free State, finding it virtually empty of people because of Imfikani, and then over the Drakensberg down into what became Natal. Yeah, so not the 1600s, not the 1700s, and that's not a mistake. If he typed 1600, you can say it was a mistake, but he put 1600 and 1700s in sequence because he doesn't know anything about Southern history. He just hates white people. More and more of the Boers continue to immigrate to South Africa. Well, no Boers immigrated to South Africa. Nobody that came to South Africa was a Boer. Not a single person. They were Dutch, they were Huguenots, they were Portuguese, they were Germans. They weren't Boers until after they were there, they became Boers. So, that's a semantics thing, but he's wrong. Via the Cape of Good Hope, with many of them becoming farmers and gobbling up the arable lands. You mean kind of like the Bantu taking up the arable lands from the Khoi and San when they came down the Rift Valley 1,600 years ago? Yeah, same thing. The Boers were hostile towards indigenous African peoples. No, they weren't. They weren't hostile towards indigenous African peoples. That's factually incorrect. In fact, they got along with many of the African peoples, like the Griquas, who were mixed race, the Sotho, although at times they had conflict, the Tswana in large measure, indeed, and cooperated with them and worked with them. Yep, and fought battles against the Ndebele with them. Yep, absolutely. So you're wrong about that. As far as hostility, the Koso were hostile towards them, and they were hostile back towards them. So, yeah, it's a partial story, and an act of omission is an act of commission. And he said the Boers were, whom they fought frequent range wars with. Well, there were some range wars, if you want to call that, but this isn't, Idaho or Nebraska. When one think of the roots of the brutal apartheid period, he also doesn't know how to use proper English. Apartheid is a noun. It should be capitalized. You need to look no further than the Boers. Really? That sounds very lack of objectivity there. I listened intently to their presentations, which clearly yearn for the good old days of apartheid, with an exclamation point. I don't know what briefing he watched, but clearly he's just a bigot who can't be honest. They blame all of the problems of South Africa today on the Communist, Socialist, and Anarchic African National Congress. Well, yeah, the problems are almost entirely of their making. They've had the resources, the means, and 3 decades to fix the problems. And pretty soon, the ANC will have been in charge of South Africa longer than the apartheid era. Very soon. Just a few more years, and that'll be the case. So, and they said, and the new South African Government of National Unity. Mr. Foote, they're part of the Government of National Unity. The Freedom Front Plus is part of the Government of National Unity. So, not very bright. He said they're against any redistribution of land. Of course, why would anybody be in favor of land theft? That's why I don't buy any land in South Africa. I mean, why would I buy land if someone's going to steal it from me? And you're going to steal it from me because I'm white and it's right for you to steal it, even though I bought it? What if I bought it from a black man? Well, it doesn't matter because you're racist. Yep. Or any accommodation whatsoever of black South Africans. Again, doesn't know how to use English. Black is not a proper noun. Black is a color, dingbat doorknob. It's not a proper noun. It's an adjective. It's an adjective modifying a noun. South Africans, that's the noun. Black identifies South Africans. Therefore, it is what we call in English, Mr. Foot, an adjective, not a noun. Racist garbage, woke crowds. He said, when it came time for questions for the audience, I raised my hand straight up and hi. Well, good for you. And he loves these exclamation points. The audience was mostly white, so I was not sure how my question would be received. Wow, that sounds a little bit bigotry there. Yep. In my 3 minutes, I certainly tried to represent Randall Robinson and the Free South African movement well. Free South African what, you genius? Free of what? Free from the ANC? I think that sounds like a good plan. And then this part here, this is the gem. I was seated next to a young Afrikaner boy and his father and thought that they look like they have been intermarrying amongst themselves over a long period of time. Wow. Wow. Bigoted? Racist much? Yep. Wow. He's an American, Chris. This garbage from an American. Exactly. Screw that. This guy actually advised the Clinton administration. That's why our foreign policy is so screwed up. Idiots like this. Yep. 11/28 here in China. Johnny Blank. Wow, we used to have. I'm drawing a blank. Who is our guy in China? Who was our guy in China? He used to be in China all the time. I haven't seen him in ages. Welcome in China there. How's it going? Definitely can't see beyond color. No, blinded by color. All he saw were white guys. He didn't see people. He didn't see the people inside them. When I look at this guy, I see Hank Johnson. So that's sorry. He looks just like Hank Johnson. Sounds like him too. But yeah, all he saw was white guys. And all he knows about white guys is they're all racist because he's a racist. And that's what he thinks of people. He has hatred in his heart. You can see it in everything he said there. Watched it just before the live. I hate that people from other countries have such opinions about my country, but they have no real life experience living here. No opinion, no reality. Well, Sumery, people can have opinions, but opinions should be well informed. His are not. His are informed by racist, black supremacist narratives that have been going on for decades. And he says the same thing about America. So, you know, but he gets to say this nonsense because he lives in America where we protect free speech. Okay. Talking about, yep, okay, what else we got here? The woke left is destroying this room. Imagine President Trump was like, oh, yeah, it would all be over, man. If President Trump had not won the election, I would have been hoarding silver. I would have been hoarding a few other things. And I would have been converting much of my dollar cash reserves, whatever I might have, into tangible things I can barter with. And I would have loaded up on firearms and ammunition. Body armor. Yep, because the world would have been coming to an end. The insanity that's now in New York would have been at my door if Trump had not won. So yeah, absolutely. Need to get me in the Senate sorted out. Well, that'd be nice. Opinions come second to facts. Yeah. At least Corney doesn't let anyone walk over him. Yeah, he never has. And he's always stays so calm and measured. People be so unaware sometimes. It's a bit scary. By the way, Colonel, what happened to vouchers? I used to love cutting them out and swapping the ones I didn't need. What do you mean vouchers? You mean coupons for shopping? Coupons are still around, but now a lot of places like my discount club has coupons. They do printed books, but you can only get them to the club. They mail things to you and you get some coupons in there, but a lot of the coupons are just digital. You find them and they're clipless. So that's kind of cool. In fact, I bought a pair of shorts the other day and it was a clipless coupon. So I saved $3. I didn't have to clip any coupon out. Yeah, the coupon thing is something that was very big in this country. There are people that used to get, you get this, you buy that, you send these labels in, you get money back. And there were people that would get paid to go grocery shopping because all the coupons would lower the price down to almost nothing, plus the rebates they get. It became a sport, an activity a lot of people were involved in. Yeah, they don't exist in South Africa, but they're still here. Dim the lights, yeah. What'd you miss? Oh, you missed the new songs, man. Wonder what people would actually respond if these interviews were retalked by American translators in American English without anyone knowing the skin color. Clinton and the Dayton Agreement. What's going on in Bosnia? I heard people talking about Bosnia. What's going on? I haven't. Hey, Carlos, what's going on? Is there something happening in Bosnia that I don't know about? Because that's like the third time today someone's mentioned Bosnia. Mentioned former Yugoslavia. Let's see what's going on in Bosnia. Not much here. Rats thrive in Sarajevo as rising disease cause crisis. That's scary. In Sarajevo, it is once again the year of the rat. Social media posts from residents in Bosnia's capital have shown an abundance of rodents swimming in the river, which flows through the center of the city. Sarajevans, long accustomed to poor public service, have also posted photos of overflowing rubbish containers and illegal dumping. That's bad. That's bad. Is it hantavirus? Oh my gosh, they're going to have hantavirus. That's bad. Wow. Wow. Scary stuff. Rats. Don't like them. Don't like them at all. Nasty creatures. Some people keep them as pets. Ugh, pretty scary. Hello there, Man Up Mastery. Corny has been doing this for years. His dad was involved. Yeah, exactly. Yep. He's a smart guy. They won't bother with the Freedom Front Plus. No, they won't do that. The problem, if they accuse their coalition partner of treason, they're going to have a problem. Notice they didn't accuse the DA of treason. People can take their white guilt and shove it as far as I'm concerned. Without Western advances in technology, most non-white people will be suffering. Agreed. Myra, I'm supposed to have an interview with Corny and with Theo Diago, but I haven't heard back from either one of them. Let me look and see. Corny read my message, but he hasn't responded. He read my message from 6 p.m. and so did Teo. I sent both of them a message at 6 p.m. Haven't heard from either one of them. So they both promised me I can interview them, but it looks like it's going to not pan out. So their schedule looks like it filled up. I mean, you come all this way and you've got an objective to see certain organizations. I get it. So, I'm not a priority. It was a victim of an attack, and Elon Musk has done nothing to restore it. So X is a corrupt platform, as I've always said. It's a corrupt, dishonest platform. Yeah, it was the right decision to pick Corny Mulder as leader. And my interview with him at the Parliament was great. Yep. Let me do that real quick. Let me find, that's not what I want. I want this one. Let me find it. It's the one I did last night. So, Parliament. Can't find it. I found it before. Oh, there. Will the DA lose Western Cape? There you go. Oh, that's last year. Did this before. So, thank you. You can all. Thank you. You can all. 350 Rand super chat. Thank you for the super chat, even the cheeky username. Yep, thank you for that. Yeah, So, speaking of China, I see rumors that China is trying to get military foothold in southern Africa to take over the Atlantic and Pacific sea routes. Where are you seeing those rumors at? A lot of people speculate that. I've seen no evidence of that. Our coupon systems are integrated in smart shopper cards from Pick and Pay. As an example, you get the weekly discount newspaper delivered. Gotcha. Good morning, Veroshka. You took off because you were tired last time I saw you. X Media still has a lot of retired CIA working there. Could be Holden. Love Corny, by far the only straight-up common sense political leader left. Yep. Morning from Benoni. Hey, Anton, did anybody mention me in Benoni today? Oops, the bugger off bunny is slipping down my pocket. Let me take him out. He's going to slide down there. Yep. Well, we have those loyalty cards here too, and if you don't have a loyalty card, when you go to places like supermarkets, you get charged an outrageous amount. Like a bag of chips will say $7.99, but if you're a loyalty club member, they're $3.99. Seriously, they do that. You don't pay anything for the loyalty club, but it's just to get you to keep coming back. So it works. Another day with no news on a trade deal. Yeah, no, there's no trade deal. No trade deal. Chappies. Chappies or Choppies? Choppies is a Botswana-based grocer. Patience of a saint. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for the 350 Rand super chat. That's nice and unexpected. Let's see if I can nudge him to contact you. Well, Myra, they're busy. I'm not complaining. They're busy. I get it. Plus, if I interview them, it means I'm going to have to drive down to D.C. I don't like driving to D.C. I really don't like driving to D.C. It's 2 hours of misery, and then I leave, and it's 2 more hours coming back. So if I leave here in the morning, I sit in traffic. If I leave here mid-morning, I have to rush out early afternoon to make it back, and I still wind up in a lot of traffic. If I leave after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm screwed. I'll get home at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, even though it's just a 2-hour drive. That's if we don't have an accident. Typical Senate commissions, no results, appoint a special envoy. Yep. Second largest shareholder is Prince Aloid. Tell the other guy. Second largest shareholder in what? Oh, gotcha. Gotcha, Choppies. Oh, he was saying hi to you. I didn't see you were in the chat. Sorry, I thought he was talking about Choppies. Okay, gotcha. I didn't see. He just wrote Choppies. I didn't know what that meant. He was saying hello to you. Got it. Got it. Yeah, it's always sad how the uninformed think that. What I find is somebody that has no information about something and then tries to insult me by saying, well, he's not very bright. He doesn't know the difference between 49 and 59. Well, of course I know the difference. That's why I accurately reported it was 59 people. I'm the guy who interviewed the first refugee. And the refugees can all confirm that. And I have the metadata to prove it from the video recording on my phone, the video. The metadata is there. Where did I record it? And then I uploaded it. And then I didn't publish it. In fact, I wonder if I look at that, what it'll say when I put that on the channel. Let me see. So let me look for, let me see. No, that's not going to work. It's not. I'm going to have to do it this way. It's going to be an uploaded video, and it's going to be the 12th of May. So I'm going to have to go back to 12th of May, which is going to take a few minutes because there's a lot of videos here. 6 to 5 June. I'm already at 60 videos this month. Do you believe that? 60 prepared videos in June already. May 22nd, 2 in a row that were 100,000 plus. Okay. May. I'm getting close here. May. There it is. Leaving South, everything behind. Refugee interview. So, Monday, May 12th. That's when it was published. At 12:26 p.m. here. So that was Monday evening. That's when I published it. It was loaded up already, but that's when it was published. Yep. That's when it was published. And that would be, they arrived about 6 o'clock South Africa time. It was around noon here. Yep. I had to confirm that they'd arrived. In fact, I was in Somerset West, headed to Gordons Bay, going by the place where the fire stations were at when I was on the radio there, when I was on the Helderberg radio before Easter weekend. I was right there at the little petrol station with the radio show, and I was driving past that when I got confirmation, second confirmation that they had landed. And that's when I published it. Yep. It was already loaded up and ready to go. Yep. 44 minutes long. You're muted. Who's muted? You're muted. Who's muted? I'm not muted. Refresh. Wasn't the 12th when the plane landed? Correct. And I recorded it on the 11th, on the Sunday, when I was OP Plus. Yep. Got the metadata to prove it. But then the BBC claimed they had the first interview with Charles Kleinhaus, which they didn't. They did not. By the way, tomorrow, it's still tomorrow, we've got a busy day, 8 o'clock in the morning, which will be 2 o'clock South Africa time. It's a press conference at the Pentagon with the chairman and the Secretary of Defense on the battle damage assessment for Iran. I presume that's what it's about. That's at 8 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, I have Joe Emilio on, which will be 3 p.m. South African time, talking about the Tygerberg land invasion and his documentary. And then at 10:30, I have Errol Langton on. So that's going to be at 4:30 South Africa time, back to back to back broadcast at Langton, and then I do the news. So 4 broadcasts. I'm busy from 8 o'clock until 1 o'clock tomorrow, straight through. Yep. Mario Esfilion, welcome to you. Do you know why the high school in Benoni closed at 12 and the lower school at 13 to give the high school pupils time to pick up their kids? Oh, that's sad. Sad. I didn't wait till they entered U.S. airspace. I wait till they were on the ground, once I had confirmation on the ground from flight radar. And it was confusing because it was playing games at Dulles where they landed. Yeah, they lied, Rudolph. They absolutely lied. They never apologized for it. BBC lied. They claimed they were the first to have an interview with the refugees. They didn't. They didn't have their interview with refugees till days later. My refugee predates theirs by, I think, almost a week. Yep, just useless people. Fake government-run propaganda. Yeah, Emerencia, but that happens all over South Africa all the time. And then we hear the nonsense that, well, as long as we have townships. You have townships because you have gangsters and public officials engaged in this theft of land. That was a functional business that employed lots of people and generated revenue for the community and for the city. And now it's just a shithole. And a man's life is destroyed. Tens of millions of rand he put into it. And not being compensated. And nobody gives a crap. J.P. Smith, I will say, though, I would like to interview him. He was, he came across to me very articulate and very smart in that documentary. It was brilliant. Yep. Brilliant stuff. Joe Emilio really shined well in that. It's a fantastic documentary. Really is. Terrible. I saw that. Okay. Chris, our moderators and friends, I'm a bit late. Only got up now. Lovely rain. Well, it's okay. We grow as we were talking 160 people a while ago, and I said the program will grow, and now we're up to 254, just like that. See? Yeah, in the last 15 minutes, we've gotten another 100 people. Made a short about Malema, and I received a complaint from YouTube. It's actually really stupid. He's fighting Bruce Lee. I edited Chuck's face. Oh, really? That's stupid. Yep. Police stations are closed at 5 p.m. Gates locked because they're too scared to go out at night. Oh, yikes. Yeah, that's South Africa, man. That is South Africa. So, yeah, it's been crazy stuff here, folks. Let's take a look at some of the stories. Floods in Cape Town. Floodwaters, man. More people building crap in floodplains, and this is what happens. It's terrible. Neighborhood Watch member acted swiftly to save a boy after spotting him struggling to stay afloat in floodwaters. When Yesaria Nelson reached the boy, he was face down in shock and entangled in a rubbish bag. Heavy rains, flooding, and strong winds impacted multiple areas in Cape Town, leading to overflowing canals, damaged roads, and warnings issued to residents to avoid flooded areas. Wow. That's the boy who was rescued. It's in the water for a while. When I went up and down and came up, when he's back flipped, I noticed he was not swimming. He was about to drown. Wow. He was shivering, not just from the cold, but from the shock. Imagine if the water was knee-high for an adult, what it must be like for a child. Wow, crazy stuff. Let's take a look at this. Wow. Look at that. That's in Cape Town. What the heck? Wow. Man, oh man. Oof. Wow. That's crazy. This guy's almost out of the mess. A little bit further and you're out, man. Yeah, parking garage. Oh yeah, he got out. Good for you. He got out. That's crazy. These other people are screwed. Their cars are ruined. And this guy got out. Wow. That's hectic. That is hectic. Wow. That's in Maitland. No drainage whatsoever. Yeah, no drainage. I'm sorry. The DA gets things done. That's Western Cape. No drainage. Why? Probably because the drains are clogged, full of crap. Yep. Police officer training Russian isn't going to help him. Yep. Well, that's what I just said, Tom. You were typing that as I said it. This is what happens. That's what happened in Durban. You know, the drains were clogged because they don't maintain them and people throw the rubbish in them because they're pigs. And then the pigs all die when the floods come. Yep. Yeah, that's also in a wetland. See, that's the problem. People, the thing is, okay, the thing about the Western Cape is west of Stellenbosch and over to Cape Town, a lot of that land is swamp. It's wetlands. And people just move into it. They don't drain it properly. Like the Tigerberg racetrack had to be pumped constantly because there was water. It was built on a wetland. Yeah, Maitland is built what used to be a wetland. The wetland is doing just what wetlands are supposed to do. Get wet. You could blame apartheid as the Nats did grant permission for Maitland to be built in an area where you should not be building things. Yep. Plus people littering, blocking the drainage. Exactly right. Exactly right. Wow. So here's the flooding. This looks like it's a traffic report, not flooding. Yeah, look at this. This is in Cape Town. Look at all those roads that are red. They said that's sorry, that's actual flooding. The roads are flooded. Okay, I see. And then the canal's flooded. Yep. What a mess. That's all lowlands and wetlands. Yep. Yes, the District of Columbia was also a swamp. That's correct. They had to drain it. It was malaria endemic until the 1930s when they drained all the water. Yep, they built D.C. in a swamp. Of course, Virginia and Maryland gave up the worst land ahead. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty hectic there, folks. Wow. Ooh. Wow. At Van Riebeck Park in Oranjesicht, part of the road was washed away. Check this out, man. So much water that they just washed the road away. Ooh, that is hectic. It's just gone. Gone. And some people try to ford through that because they're not very bright. Meanwhile, snow and damaging winds as a cold front sweeps across South Africa. People getting soaked in Cape Town, but look at this. Eastern Cape, disruptive snow is expected to fall in parts of Eastern Cape, while heavy rain, damaging winds, and waves are expected to persist in parts of Western Cape. Yellow level 4 warning for damaging waves result in damage to coastal infrastructure and disruption at Alexander Bay and Plettenberg Bay. Yellow level 2, wow, at Port Edward, Cape Vidal, Cape Argolis, and East London. Man, that's crazy. Oh, it must be that climate change, man. Must be that climate change. People overseas don't seem to understand that land invasions happen every day, but because the government isn't doing it, they think there's no invasions. Well, that's the argument I've been making all along, Dirk Coetzee. It doesn't matter whether the government says, well, we have it confiscated, but you have facilitated the confiscation and theft of land by not acting and not protecting property owners' rights in Sesheho, in Northwest Province, and in East London. You facilitated. You're facilitators. And the fact that you pass a law encouraged people to do it. Yep. Hectic day in Cape Town. 30 millimeters of rain at my home. Started raining again now. All the poorest are going to struggle. Well, I got to tell you that it was brutally hot here. Yesterday was triple digits. Today it was approaching triple digits. But when I walked outside, it felt better because the humidity was slightly lower and it was about 6 or 7 degrees. I could feel it was cooler. It was still very hot, but it was cooler. And then late in the afternoon, suddenly out of nowhere, a freaking tropical rainstorm came and was beating against the side of the house. The temperature dropped 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It's currently 76 degrees outside, and my air conditioner's not on. That temperature there hit 24 earlier. Usually that's at 21 or 21. It hit 24 Celsius in here because it got so hot, and I shut the air conditioner down for a while. Don't like to watch the rain or snow pictures in South Africa because they like to show old pictures from 2 years ago. Well, probably Chantel. I don't know. Lucky my house is built on a hill about 2 streets from the street, so water runs down to the sea. But when there's heavy rain like this, there's people around here that also experience flooding. Yep. Hey, Copy, what's going on? Where have you been? I haven't seen you in days. You're freezing, huh? Okay. Holland is pumping water out permanently. Well, yeah, because they built in the North Sea. I mean, how much of Holland is recovered from the North Sea? The Zuiderzee is just all land from the North Sea, man. They're under the water table. Well, the MK Umkhonto we Sizwe party is demanding apology from Floyd Shivambu. Demand that he retract druggie and alcoholic claims. Former Secretary General given 48 hours to publish apology and a retraction on X. He's done. This guy's done. KFC boy is done. He's done. And you think that he's going to be supported by Johan Rupert for New Party? I'd be shocked. Shivambu accused Ndela of taking drugs, being always high in alcohol, and telling lies to party leader Jacob Zuma. He came to me to say that I'm going to overthrow him, but the report was presented in the meeting of officials that took that decision. That report came to him. It was given him by the people I refer to as scoundrels, Shivambu said. Yeah, this is not a political party. It's just it's the Jersey Shore. Scorching hot in the Netherlands, okay? Henry Pretorius, what's going on? South Africa will maintain the Israeli embassy. Well, you better. Don't even try to get rid of it. If we close our embassy, they close ours, and that locks us out of the region. Exactly, because it's the only safe country to be in. South Africa maintains Israeli embassy to keep a diplomatic presence. Yep. Despite Parliament voting to shut down the Israeli embassy nearly 2 years ago, Deputy President Paul Mashili says the move has not yet been implemented because South Africa still wants to maintain a presence in the region. Yep. The government has considered the fact, Parliament can vote to close it, but Parliament, that's a violation of the Vienna Conventions. And if Parliament closes the Israeli embassy in South Africa, get ready for a crap storm. Get ready for crap storm. That's one thing where the ANC finally got their head out of their ass and realized that, man, we better not do something because we will be paying a penalty for this. Yep. 62 millimeters of rain in Brackenfell. Oof, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, they want to give a license to Starlink. President Ramaphosa says government will not bend its laws to accommodate billionaire Elon Musk. We will never take any measures or acts that are going to militate against our Constitution. Well, it's not against your Constitution. Your Constitution, the laws you've applied, violate your Constitution. You're supposed to be equality before the law, but your racist laws violate that, Cyril. So you're not long for this government, buddy. You will be gone soon. Relax. Just, enjoy it while you can, Cyril. You will be leaving soon. You will be leaving soon, and the door will hit you in that ample ass of yours. Trump accuses Spain of wanting a free ride. They're freeloaders. Yep. Makes a trade threat. The president has accused Spain of wanting a free ride after it refused to agree to 5% GDP defense spending target NATO has set. Yep. They threatened to push Madrid through, or punish them. Yep. Good. Yep. It's terrible what they've done. They're the only country that won't pay the full amount. They want to stay at 2%. I think it's terrible. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said he reached a deal with NATO. Spain will therefore not spend 5% as defense, but its participation, weight, and legitimacy in NATO remains intact. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't remain intact. The only reason that the U.S. hasn't punished it is because we have bases all over Spain. Shell, Royal Dutch Shell, is in early talks to buy Beyond Petroleum. Beyond Petroleum. British Petroleum. Well, I have stake in this. I have a few shares in British Petroleum. The deal will be a landmark combination of two super major oil companies. Shell dismisses the journal's report as market speculation. I'd like to know where that Shell station is. It looks like it's in Austria. That's gorgeous. It's in France. That's in France. Okay. Shell is holding early stage talks to acquire BP in what would be the largest oil deal in a generation. Wow. BP was up 1.64% in trading. So let's see what that makes it worth. Okay. BP is currently valued at about $80 billion. Okay. Shell's worth over $200 billion. BP has been a laggard among major oil companies after the ill-fated push away from fossil fuels. Yeah, they tried to go to renewable and it failed. So $30 a share. Well, that sucks. I paid less than that, but not much less. So that sucks. Trump considers naming the next Federal Reserve chairman to undermine Jerome Powell. Good. Powell is a weasel. Yep. Warsh, Hassett, and Bissett are among those under consideration. President Trump's exasperation over Federal Reserve's take it slow approach, cutting interest rates, is prompting him to consider accelerating when he'll announce his pick to succeed Jerome Powell. In recent weeks, the president has toyed with the idea of selecting and announcing Powell's replacement by September, October. Good. Name him soon. Get rid of Powell. It's the first moment he can go. Guy's a troll. Mamdani's success stunned the Democrats, and it spotlighted a deep rupture among U.S. Jews. He won over some Jewish supporters. Other Jewish Democrats suggest that concerns about their community safety are being dismissed in a movement and a city they helped build. Oh, now the Jews want credit for building New York. They were part of it. New York's annual parade celebrating Israel has been a standard stop for state's politicians for 60 years, drawing governors, senators, and every mayor since Robert Wagner to pay their respects to the Jewish community. Now, as Israel's standing in the United States has fallen precipitously since the Gaza war, no, it hasn't. New York City Democrats appear likely to nominate a mayoral candidate who does not shy away from his record of anti-Israeli activism, just call it what it is, it's anti-Semitic, underlying extraordinary departure from past mayors and current Democratic leadership. Oh, look, it's the Penguin. Jerry Nadler. Stand up, Jerry. Oh, he is standing. Sorry. He's standing up. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he is standing. Tulsi Gabbard gets her head out of her rectum and wakes up to reality and gets in line. Yep. Gabbard says new intelligence shows Iran nuclear facilities destroyed. If the Iranians choose to rebuild, they would have to rebuild all 3 facilities, she said. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said Wednesday that new intelligence has shown the U.S. strikes in Iran set back the country's capacity to produce nuclear weapons, disputing a report from earlier. New intelligence confirms what POTUS has stated numerous times: Iran's nuclear facilities have been destroyed. If the Iranians choose to rebuild, they would have to rebuild all 3 facilities. Yet multiple media outlets citing anonymous sources reported the Defense Intelligence Agency found the strikes on 3 Iranian facilities over the past weekend were not as significant as what they have been publicly claimed. Those reports also claimed Iran moved much of its uranium supply before the air attacks. Yeah, well, not really true. Gabbard said the propaganda media deploy their usual tactics, selectively releasing portions of illegally leaked classified intelligence assessments and intentionally leaving out the fact the assessment was written with low confidence, which is what I said from the outset, to try to undermine President Trump's decisive leadership. Yep, that's exactly right. That's what they did. They're scumbags. They're scumbags. And I love how Trump is ripping on CNN. In a new assessment, the CIA now says that they were severely damaged. The administration suggests the initial report of less severe damage was already outdated as the president continued to defend his assertion they'd been obliterated. Classified intelligence about the damage to Iran's nuclear program from strikes was at the center of political tempest on Wednesday as spy chiefs pushed out new assessments. CIA Director John Ratcliffe said the strikes would severely damaged Iran's nuclear program. The damage is also being assessed by other spy agencies. Yeah, well, I worked in this community. This is nonsense. ICE has no right to anonymity. This says Jamil Bouie. Jamil Bouie, the scumbag here. Jamil Bouie. For President Trump, the United States is little more than his personal playground. Mar-a-Lago gone national. Shut up. These idiots. They get airtime here on the New York Times. Unbelievable. He says that they have no right to anonymity, that people are welcome to out them, basically, and, attack and murder them in their homes and their families. Scumbags. Scumbags. Well, the United States strike on the Iranian nuclear facilities sent a strong message to Beijing, which has been very quiet. Notice there have been no incursions in Taiwanese airspace, no episodes with Philippine Coast Guard ships or Japanese ships at sea since the strikes. Not one, but almost daily incursions and provocations by the Chinese communists before Trump spanked Iran. Now the Chinese are behaving, at least publicly. Why the strikes sent Iran sent a strong message to Beijing. Chinese Communist Party publicly condemned the American-Israeli attacks as a violation of Iranian sovereignty. Yes. But now it's clear that these dictators can't predict his moves, so they're genuinely afraid of him. Trump acts decisively. If he says he'll strike, he won't hesitate. Now the Chinese know. Quit dicking around. Quit dicking around. Yep. 264 people here, 191 likes, and 1,000 people. Gotta run, says Dougie Ray. Well, Ratcliffe was Inspector General Trump's first mission. Yeah, he was in the first administration. I don't remember what his job was. He was a congressman, too. All right, because I've got an 8 o'clock, folks, I'm going to wrap it up, okay? There are more nations in Spain that aren't paying 5%. No, nobody's paying 5%. Not even the U.S. is paying 5%. They said they're just not going to do it. Yeah, the agency is very low profile since White House visit. Well, they were talking cock. I mean, Cyril was running around going, they dimmed the lights. I thought they were pulling a Trump on me. He and, of course, Dean McPherson cackling like a schoolgirl, looking like idiots. Both of them have been a lot quieter. Since we struck Iran, the ANC has toned it down. It took that for them to get their attention. Yep. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good evening. I've got to get some rest, and I'll be up for the broadcast in the morning from the Pentagon, okay? You're very welcome. Be sure to hit the like button. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the likes, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side here, okay? You're very welcome, everybody. Cheers. Have a good night. Bye-bye.